Hello everyone, hope you're having a good day. So I'm finally getting around to making the Mondstadt Hashbrowns from Genshin Impact, and I've got some gameplay here. This is stuff that I played this morning. So this is the Mondstadt Hashbrown in-game. We need pine cones, potato and jam to make this recipe. And you can make the jam by this recipe here. So it's Sunsetia, this kind of yellow berry, and then sugar as well. So I didn't have any sugar, so I'm just going to cook that up quickly. And then I'd also run out of these Sunsetia as well, so I'm just going to go grab a few of them. I thought I'd just show you all a little bit of the game. If you haven't played it, I recommend giving it a go. This isn't a sponsored video at all, far from it. I just really enjoy it. You can see there's like Mondstadt in the background, that kind of walled city, that's Mondstadt, where these hash browns come from. So now I've got my Sunsetia here, and the sugar's finished. We can make the jam, just cook that up. It takes about 9 minutes. This is real time, so I went and did some questing for a little bit, and then came back here and it was finished. And now we can finally make the recipe. So Mondstadt Hashbrown. It basically just fills that HP up in game, and quite a lot as well because it's percentage HP. Give you quite a lot. This is a little mini game you've got to do, and perfect. There you go. And if you do it perfect, you get like a delicious. So these are delicious Mondstadt Hashbrown. There you are, 34% max HP, 1900 HP, and they're delicious. So there's also this, the puppy paw hash brown. So if you use the character on the right there, Razor, if you use him to make the recipe, you basically get a different version. You get his puppy paw hash brown, which is basically the same, except it's got a different sauce and different shape, so I'm going to make that as well. Okay, so let's get started. So here I've got 600 grams of potatoes. I'm just chopping these into little cubes, even sizes so they cook quickly, and I'm going to boil them until they become soft. I then drained away the boiling water and left them in the pan, just so the rest of that water could evaporate off. We want them as dry as possible. Now the in-game recipe uses pine, and I looked into using this. Pine seeds were the best thing I could find, but they are stupidly expensive, really expensive. So I had a look, and apparently rosemary is kind of close-ish to pine, and it is a really nice flavour. So I grabbed some rosemary from our herb box, pulled it off the stalk like this, chopped it up, and then I infused it into some butter. So this is melted butter, it's quite hot. You can see it's bubbling as soon as the rosemary goes in. I just let that sit for about 10 minutes or so the rosemary flavour could infuse. So then I just added my rosemary butter onto the potatoes and then mashed it into a smooth puree. Got super smooth mashed potatoes here, and I just gave it a taste, added some salt and pepper later on, so you can kind of tweak that as you like it. So I then went on to form the shape of the hash browns. So there's a Mondstadt hash brown on the left there, and this puppy paw one is a little bit more complex. So you can see I'm using a chopstick here. This was kind of the best thing I could find, just making indents for each finger, and then I kind of played around with it a little bit until I got the shape I wanted. So for the next step, it's best if we freeze these. So I'll put them all on this piece of parchment paper here, and I'm going to pop them in the freezer for about 45 minutes. While they're chilling, we're going to get started on that jam. So I'm going to go for a spicy tomato jam. I know it's different from the game. I don't know what Sunsetia is. I don't have any of them little yellow berries. So we're going to go for a spicy tomato jam. In this pan here, I've got a 400 gram can of plum tomatoes, 150 grams of sugar, 1 tablespoon of white wine vinegar, half a teaspoon of cayenne, 2 cloves of garlic which I've minced up, and then later on I'm going to add some salt and pepper, but I first blended it into this smooth paste and then reduced it down on the hob. This is the thickness we're looking for. You want to be able to pull your spoon across the bottom of the pan and be able to see the pan underneath. The hash browns are frozen solid, so now I'm going to cover them. So we're going with cornflour or cornstarch first. It's a little bit soft, but it's better than what it was before. So you want to take your time here. You don't want to press down too hard because you're going to squish them features. So I was trying my best to preserve them lines that I'd made. And then we're going to go into the egg wash here. Again, being very careful, and you can see I'm kind of pulling it up on the sides here instead of dunking it on its edge. Kind of pulling the egg wash over the side, and then into the breadcrumbs at the end. It's quite far away. It's kind of hard to get everything in one shot here. Yeah, I'm just dusting it over the top, taking the time. I was in no rush. Just covering it all until it was fully coated. So once I'd finished all of them, I was ready to fry them. I've got my trusty Dutch oven here. I've seen this many times on the channel. I don't really have a specific temperature of the oil that I use. It's kind of just hot enough that the oil starts to bubble as soon as I added the hash brown in. The potatoes already cooked, and we're just trying to cook the egg and kind of brown the breadcrumbs. So this, for me, took about 2 minutes or so. So I'll go for the Mondstadt hash brown first. The kitchen was kind of noisy in the house. The dog was making a load of noise, so I'm going to do the voiceover for this. You can really taste the rosemary coming through in the hash browns. For the small amount that I use, it really packs quite a punch. And this tomato jam is something I'm definitely going to be making again. It's a nice balance between sweet, acidic and spicy, and it is a proper jam. It's quite sweet. I kind of say it's sweeter than normal ketchup. But it's got that kick of cayenne in the back as well, and it complements hash browns really nicely, I think. And then for the puppy paw hash browns, I made this little sauce here off camera, so this is kind of just 50-50 mayonnaise and tartar sauce, with a little bit of ground pepper mixed in there as well. Ideally, if I'm serving this again, I'd probably do a combination of both sauces. I think they complement each other quite nicely. So there we are. Hope you enjoyed this recipe. I'll be back next week on Tuesday for my Valentine's Day special. I'm going to do 2 videos next week, definitely, possibly 3, depends how it goes. They're quite ambitious, but hopefully they'll work out fine. So I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you very much for watching.